Tony Award-winning actor you know from his work in hit movies like The Birdcage, The Lion King, and The Producers, and shows such as Only Murders in the Building and The Gilded Age. He stars in Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story, which is streaming now on Netflix. Let's take a look.
On behalf of myself, the attorneys, and the two families here, I want to thank you for your service.
Not for our family, Judge Katz. Don't thank them on behalf of our family.
Mr. Dunn, you will have your time to speak during sentencing.
It's too late then. That man strangled our daughter to death. He should rot in prison for the rest of his life.
Mr. Dunn.
And you withheld important evidence from the jury about this man's history of violence against women.
Please welcome back to the show our very good friend Nathan Lane, everybody.
Gosh, Seth, you know, all these years I've never thanked you for the mug and the T-shirt in the dressing room.
Yeah.
But what's with all the baby oil? It's what you call an opening gambit.
Yeah.
Just to see if you're paying attention.
Well, it's really lovely, too, because, you know, look, we always have a lot of fun when you're here, but this is a more serious role.
Yes.
And so you had to take an opening gambit right off that clip. That was very dramatic.
Yeah, that really happened. It was a travesty of justice, this trial of the man who murdered Dominic Dunn's daughter, Dominique, and that outburst, it happened.
That happened. And the judge actually ended up losing his job.
Barton Katz.
Yes. So you played Dominic Dunn,
yes,
who covered a lot of murder trials over the years, and a lot of some of the most famous, I feel like, the most salacious cases that sort of came through in the 90s and the 2000s.
Yes, the murders of the rich and famous.
Yes.
And he was the voice of Vanity Fair. Tina Brown had hired him, actually met with him before he went out for that trial and said, keep a journal, and when you come back, I'll publish it. So it was the first piece he wrote for Vanity Fair. And
this is, of course, about the Menendez brothers. A very famous trial, but did you discover more doing a show about them?
They did it.
Okay.
Yes.
You're really doing the balance well. I'm really appreciating it.
Well, you know, it's a very complicated case. We're still talking about it today. You know, doing the press for this.
And Kim Kardashian just came out and was sort of made the case for some degree of clemency.
And wouldn't it be something if Kim Kardashian saved the day?
Yeah.
But, you know, she's been going to law school. I mean, she's into prison reform by Zoom, but she's going.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding because that's what I do. But she has been working to help them, and there's going to be a new hearing for them, and I think there should be to look at the new evidence. And I mean, we now have a whole new lens to look at abuse that way that we didn't way back when they were tried, and so. So, yeah, who knows? The Menendez brothers could be home for Christmas.
Well, could be its own movie. That's like a Lifetime movie, I feel like.
Don't you think?
I do. Dominic Dunn has passed away, but he was, he was a larger-than-life character. His son, Griffin Dunn, a very talented actor in his own right, wrote a beautiful book about his family that came out this year.
Phenomenal memoir.
A phenomenal memoir.
The Friday Afternoon Club. And I was able to, he was very gracious, and we chatted about Dominic, and then I was able to get an advance copy of that. And it was instrumental to me to see Dominic through his eyes, and the memoir itself is just a fantastic read. He grew up in Hollywood, and you know, Sean Connery saved him from drowning in a pool. There's tons of stories. He was best friends with Carrie Fisher. That's one of the most wonderful things about the book is he brings Carrie Fisher back to life.
Yeah, it's really true. It is really
beautiful.
Great.
Yeah.
Not to move on too quickly, but
By the way, I know I'm the interviewee.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of questions.
Okay.
And my first question is, where do I have to get to on the entertainment food chain to go day drinking with you?
Would you like to go day drink?
Because I know it's fun to see a big rock star get sloppy, but it's, this is a part I've been rehearsing for my entire life.
So you can put him back during the day.
Well, I'd be day drinking anyway. Why not make a day of it with you?
Yeah.
I think something special could happen. We'll at least wind up at a tattoo parlor.
Oh, well, that'd be wonderful. I do have a matching tattoo with Dua Lipa, but there's another leg, I'm just saying.
That's really great. Did Dua Lipa
It was her
get a
idea.
tattoo?
Yeah, and then we have a matching.
Did I ever think I would utter those words?
Yeah.
Did Dua Lipa get a tattoo?
That sounds like a classic sort of thing you say.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. I also want to check in
Yes.
because we're collaborating
Yeah.
on the musical that I've yet to write, but I
Wow.
have received financial backing for Cicada Cicada.
Oh, you
play yourself in it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm playing myself. But I've heard rumors that Harvey Fierstein is holding out for more money.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah.
He plays the cockroach.
That
we can't lose Harvey.
I know. And I thought maybe we should ask him to write the book for the musical, and then
he would be very good
so
at that.
then that would be extra money, and then he would have.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So
finally
give him a piece
signed
of the
contract.
Yeah. That's very smart.
Well, absolutely.
You speaking of musicals that actually worked,
Yeah.
Lion King 30th anniversary. You
Oh,
did
right.
a live performance at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Was it?
It was, yeah. It'll be on the Disney Channel in December. It's all leading up to this origin story, Mufasa, the high school years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They greenlit the high school years for Mufasa.
The high school
Yeah.
years, because that's a story
Yeah.
crying out to be told.
Yes.
And they just haven't made enough money
Yeah.
on The Lion King.
Every time you talk to people, they always say, "We wish it had done better."
So there we were. Yes, Jennifer Hudson is singing, and Ernie Sabella and Jason Weaver and I did the Hakuna Matata, which we haven't done in a very long time.
Yeah.
And I was reminded that originally Ernie and I sang the love song, "Can You Feel the Love Tonight?" We sang the whole thing.
Oh, because you have a moment in it, but you say
We have a verse, but then it was weird because we were doing these character-y voices, and then somehow they hadn't gotten that memo to Elton John, who, when he heard this, was horrified. Because he had dreamed of writing a Disney love song, and then he said, "But I didn't envision it sung by the rat and the pig."
You were not a rat. How dare he?
Well, he's the meerkats. Isn't that somewhere in the rodent family?
I'm sure it is, but I think that, like, if your kid said, "I want to dress up like a meerkat for Halloween," you'd be happier than if they said a rat.
Yes,
Yeah.
I like the way you're thinking.
Yeah. I almost think exclusively through Halloween costumes at this point in my life.
Sure.
You do get to sort of cleanse the palate, I guess they say, on your dramatic
I
work.
thought you were getting up to leave.
I am good at. Do you mind?
Do you want me
Do you know the next two guests at all?
I love their
Great.
work.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I'm going to go. No, you're doing a comedy on Hulu, Mid-Century Modern.
Oh, yes. Written by the gentleman who created Will and Grace.
Wonderful guy.
Directed by the legendary James Burrows. It's myself, Matt Bomer, Nathan Lee Graham, and the brilliant Linda Lavin as my mother.
It's a good group.
It was pitched to me as, the gay Golden Girls.
Okay.
And I thought, well, has it come to this? But then I read it, and it's hilarious. It was a brilliantly funny script. And it's not, it is about a group of older friends who we are all living in my house in Palm Springs, and Linda is my mother. But it's its own thing, and it's really, I'm very excited. We're about to start shooting in the end of October.
Well, that's great. We're always excited when you're doing new things, and it's always so great for you to have a reason to come here. We
Thank
love you
you.
so much, Nathan. Nathan Lane, everybody. Monsters, the Lyle